Time now to level up the learning with something that will help you put the yoga postures together into a memorable and clever little sequence. A sequence that will allow you to offer a life lesson to the kids. Something that carries loads of meaning and will engage even the most distractible of kids. It's story. One of the classic story arcs is that of the hero's journey. This is something we use in a simplified form in kids yoga, and I'm going to dive into it now because it's a brilliant way of sharing life lessons that you will be able to use in your teaching. The hero's journey has been used in countless movies: The Wizard of Oz, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Finding Nemo, and many more. The reason I'm talking about the hero's journey is that it's a really clever story arc to know and understand. And if you weave its elements into your storytelling, you will get a story that is incredibly powerful, that sucks the kids in and helps them take on board some amazing lessons for life. Now I'm going to go into a potted version of the hero's journey so that you can understand how it works and breaks down. First, we meet our hero. This is a normal, everyday person, someone we can relate to. Then our hero receives their calling. The spotlight turns on them. It's their time, their moment.
I volunteer as tribute.
And they are somehow invited to set out on a challenging journey, something that will test them. They set out on their journey, and before long, they find themselves beyond the point of no return.
If I take one more step, it'll be the farthest away from home I've ever been.
They are committed. They can't turn back, so they are going to have to dig deep and find new courage. Along the way, they meet friends and allies who will help. A merry band gathers around them. Eventually, our hero faces their biggest challenge, the crux of their journey, the time they are properly tested. This is often centred around their biggest fear. They try a few different ways of overcoming it, and by the skin of their teeth, our hero succeeds. Finally, our hero manages to return home with the power to transform the world because they've gone through their incredible journey. Now, imagine that you could tell stories like that, and that you could also weave in movement. Movement which means the kids not only hear the story and take it on board in a mental way, but actually feel the story, embody the story, so it comes alive for them on a whole other level. What this does is create a room full of little heroes, all on an adventure. And they all want to know what's going to happen. What challenges am I going to face? How am I going to overcome those challenges? You give the kids this incredible, life-changing experience every week. And they learn from their adventures. So, let's apply this to the yoga now. I want to introduce you to a very exciting tool, the Cosmic Kids Yoga Storyometer. This is a clever thing that will help you build a story step by step, using the elements and principles in the hero's journey. It will help you build a fun and super engaging story with cliffhangers and challenges so those little heroes in your room learn powerful lessons for life, which ultimately will build some serious confidence in the kids. So, the first point. What is the message of your story? What is the moral you are trying to get over? What do you want to help the kids learn? Let me give you a few examples of what I focused on in the Cosmic Kids stories. Squish the Fish is all about separation anxiety and helping younger children deal with their mummies and daddies or whoever it is looking after them, saying goodbye in the morning, and to overcome that anxiety about being left, so that they can play and be brave and have their own adventures.
We're going to come up onto our knees and we're going to open our arms wide and we're going to give our mummies and daddies a great big cuddle to say goodbye. Yes, because today we're going to the beach all by ourselves. We're going to be very brave.
Mike, the Cosmic Space Monkey, is a bit more challenging because he's actually asking the kids to have empathy, even compassion, where we do something kind for someone or something who hasn't been very nice to them. This is a tricky one for the kids to get, but if they can start sowing those seeds of empathy early, then you're building core humanistic tools for kids that they'll be able to rely on as they grow up.
Hang on! We can't leave Snarge behind. He's truly terrified. We must forgive him. I'm going to go back and save him.
Popcorn the Dolphin's got a clear standout message. Stay calm, keep breathing, and think positive. These are really grabbable tools that kids lock onto, and it's like a mantra for them. So when they find themselves in challenging situations at school or in life, they've got these 3 helpful ways of thinking.
We're going to have to do 3 things. We're going to have to stay calm, we're going to have to keep breathing, and we're going to have to think positive. Can you do that? Yes, we can, Popcorn.
Now it's time for you to pick an animal. Ideally, you want to pick an animal that corresponds with a yoga pose. So, fish, dolphin, frog, camel, mouse, ant, lizard, dragonfly, deer, pig, sheep, cow. There are loads to choose from. Check your big yoga posture book if you need a little inspiration. So now you've got your animal, let's give it a name. I like to use alliteration like Colonel Crockles the crocodile, or sometimes rhyming like Squish the fish. Have fun and make it a nice memorable name. So now it's time to have a think about where this animal lives. Now have fun with this. You can have this character live anywhere you like. It could be on the moon, or in a spaceship, or in a supermarket storeroom, or in a field at the side of a volcano. Be adventurous with it. What you're starting to do is build a universe around your character, something that the kids enjoy picturing in their heads. And you're also making out that this ordinary character has the potential to transform, because soon they're going to be getting their calling, their challenge. Now have a think about what this character does for a living. This can also be an opportunity to build in some lessons to learn from them in terms of how they handle themselves, how they deal with stuff. Like in Ethel the eagle's case, she has to stay calm and centred because she's a mountain rescue eagle and she looks after people on the mountain. It might be that your character is a tightrope walker and they have to stay focused and steady and balanced. Or it's a firefighter who has to be brave in the face of danger. So now we come to the crunch point of your story, the problem or challenge this character has to face and overcome with their persistence, courage and creativity. To work out what the challenge should be, we go back to that message or moral that we wanted the kids to learn from the story. To give you some examples, in Squish the Fish, the message is about being brave when you're left on your own. So the challenge in Squish is the moment we are left by ourselves and we see a shark. Uh-oh. If your story was about dealing with bullies, this would be the point at which we do something incredibly kind, say, and they see the error of their ways. Or when we stand up to them or ignore them. This is the critical moment when our character comes up against their greatest fear, the thing that they've got to overcome. So now, in our Cosmic Kids Storyometer, we like to give our character 3 attempts to try and solve their challenge. And we use yoga to make these 3 attempts come to life. So it might be that they have to climb a tree to look through and peer and see what they can do. Or it might be that they need to snowboard down a mountain to try and solve it. Or that they have to go and meet a wise, amazing butterfly who's going to give them some special answers. The point is, in their 3rd attempt, the 3rd thing that your character tries, they succeed. This is the magic of 3. 3 attempts showing that your character is willing to persevere, to fail, to be determined and to keep pushing, to keep challenging themselves, to keep being creative until they finally succeed. This is a brilliant moment. This is where we feel that wonderful feeling of success from having overcome an incredibly difficult challenge. And now for us as the teacher and for the kids, it's time to leave our friends and say goodbye and head home. We deserve a rest, and so we get home and we tiptoe up the stairs and we take the kids down into that lovely relaxation moment. And it's during this point in the relaxation, or in Shavasana as we call it in grown-up yoga, that we guide a short meditation. And in that meditation, we land the message from the story, the thing our hero has learned. So that's the Cosmic Kids Yoga Storyometer. A step-by-step way for you to build a brilliant and engaging and heroic story that you can weave yoga postures into. Okay, I hope you're starting to get a sense of some of the big ideas in kids yoga. We've covered the yoga poses, how you make them really work for the kids, and right now we've covered story, how you weave those poses together and create something engaging and educational based around the idea of the hero's journey. Next up, we're going to get into energy. This is how you make your performance of the story engaging and fun, so the kids stay with you. I'm going to share with you a simple performance technique that will transform your teaching. It's so exciting that you're taking on board this learning, and hopefully you'll be able to start sharing it with the kids very soon. Stick with it, keep going, and I'll see you very, very soon for video number 3. Take care. Bye-bye.